Stop doing this to your child. That's what we're talking about today. Hi, this is Frank Buck, and this is the place to be if you want to get organized and make it look easy. I'm probably preaching to the choir today because the people who are guilty of what I'm going to be talking about are generally not those who follow productivity people anyway. But you can help me share the message. The inspiration for this episode came from a Facebook post written by Myra. Myra writes, "Me to my students. Can you name a valid reason to check your phone notifications during class? What's the absolute one thing that can't wait until between classes or lunch to check?" Text from parents wins. Some kids even said their parents fuss at them if they don't immediately answer text, even if they explain that they were in class or even taking a test. Too many had the same story for them to all be lying about it. Well, you heard it from Myra, who happens to be a friend of mine and is a master teacher. And this is what she deals with each and every day. Yes, now I've heard the arguments. I need to be able to get in touch with my child at all times. After all, it is my child. I have something important to tell them, and it's not hurting anything. Well, what we've done is we've all taken a tool that could be very productive for students, and we've turned it into the biggest headache for teachers and principals, and we've done it to ourselves. So now schools spend time taking up phones every morning and returning them every afternoon, or buying pouches that lock and make the phone unusable during the day. Let's face it, if your child really needed to get in touch with you, there's a phone in the main office, just like there's always been. And if you really needed to get in touch with your child, there's that same phone in the office, and that urgent message would be delivered to your child if it was really urgent. But what's at the root of all this anyway? All these interruptions? Friends, it boils down to one thing: it's disorganization. I have something on my mind as a parent that I want to tell my child, and I'll forget about it. So, to get it off of my mind right now, I'll interrupt my child right now to deliver the message so that I can forget about it. Well, actually, if you realize that you probably will forget about it and that you need to get it off your mind, you're on target. It sounds like somebody's taken a page out of my playbook. But if you think the solution is to interrupt somebody who might just be doing something important just so that you can get it off your mind, then that's where the ox is going into the ditch. So here's my question for the person who's guilty. What's the parking place where you can put that kind of stuff to get it off your mind? It could be a memo pad on your desk. It could be a digital task list that you can speak something into. Then you can put it there and you earn the right to forget about it. And when Junior comes home in the afternoon, you go over the 7 things that you jotted down instead of it being 7 different text messages sent in the middle of class. And in the morning, look at the list and see what Penelope needs to know before heading off for the bus. Extra credit if Penelope also has a place where she can record the things that she needs to remember. Some years ago, I was presenting a workshop for a group of high school students, and I asked them if they were allowed to use their phones at school. 2 students were sitting side by side. The two attended 2 different high schools, only a few miles apart from each other. The first student said, "No, we're not supposed to have our phones at school at all. We get in bad trouble if we get caught with them." The second student said, "We are encouraged to use our phones. We just have to keep them on airplane mode." 2 students, 2 schools, 2 very different philosophies on the same tool. Never have we had better tools than today. And it's not that principals just lay awake at night dreaming up rules to make life harder for students. Believe me, I was a principal for many years. Every rule that you make is one more rule you have to spend time enforcing, believe me. So the genie's already out of the bottle in a lot of places. The best tool we've got is on the naughty list. But if your school is one where there's still some trust that students will use these tools wisely, then be the model. Don't text your child during class. He's trying to learn. And could you please not text him between classes either? Hopefully, he's doing his best to make friends and actually talk to them face to face. Help your child use a digital calendar, a digital task list, and a digital notes app. That's that three-legged stool, the places you need to be, the things you need to do, and the information you need to have at hand. Those three places give you a place to put any information that comes your way. They aren't the things, though, that are generally taught in school because so many of our teachers were never taught to use those things personally, let alone have a way to teach others how to use them. That's why I do what I do. Join me in being the model. Use the best of tools in the best of ways. And as schools crank up all over the country, I hope that for you and your child, this year is your child's best one ever. Thanks for stopping by. This has been Frank Buck helping you get organized and make it look easy.